Think about the last time you dealt with government, a permit, a tax form, an application. It should be simple, and yet it takes longer than expected, feels harder than it should, and no one seems able to change it. But here's the deeper problem. The system is working exactly as it was designed to, just not for the world you're living in now. In modern societies, systems are built to create order, consistency, stability, predictability. But when the world changes, those same systems don't adapt easily. So the real question is, what happens to a society when the systems it depends on keep working, but no longer fit reality? Do things slow down? Do problems begin to accumulate? Or over time, does that society start to fall behind, becoming less competitive, less adaptive, and more fragile? That system is bureaucracy. Not the abstract term often used in politics, but the system you interact with every day, every form you fill out, every process you follow, every office that handles your request. That is bureaucracy. Now, for many people, that word has a negative meaning. Slow, inefficient, frustrating. But at its core, bureaucracy is something much simpler. It's a structured system of administration designed to make large, complex systems function reliably. In other words, it's not inherently good or bad. It's an instrument. And like any instrument, its impact depends on how it is structured and how it evolves over time. Bureaucracy sits between what is decided and what actually happens. It is the layer where policy becomes reality. And here's the key: bureaucracy isn't an accident, it's a solution. Before large administrative systems existed, governance depended on individuals, personal judgment, local decisions, and ad hoc processes. That worked at small scale. But as societies grew, that approach broke down. Outcomes became inconsistent, coordination became difficult, and decisions no longer translated into action reliably. So bureaucracy emerged to solve that, to make outcomes consistent, predictable, and scalable, so that the same rule leads to the same result, no matter who applies it. And this worked. It made large-scale societies possible. Taxes could be collected reliably, infrastructure could be planned and built, and public services could reach entire populations. For the first time, governance could operate beyond individuals through systems that ensured continuity and coordination. It made large-scale societies possible. Taxes could be collected reliably, infrastructure could be planned and built, and public services could reach entire populations. For the first time, governance could operate beyond individuals through systems that ensured continuity and coordination. As societies continued to grow, everything became more complex: more people, more economic activity, more rules, and more interactions between systems. But these don't simply add up. They multiply. Each new layer connects to others, creating more dependencies, more coordination, and more points of friction. Over time, complexity doesn't just increase, it becomes interconnected. Until the bureaucratic system reaches a point where everything depends on everything else. And changing one thing means changing everything. And that is precisely where the problem begins. To manage that level of complexity, systems rely on structure, rules to ensure consistency, procedures to ensure predictability, and hierarchies to ensure coordination. And at first, that works. But over time, those same structures become harder to change. When everything is connected, you can't easily change one part without affecting the rest. So instead of adapting quickly, the system slows down. Not because it's broken, but because it's holding everything together. The system is still working, just not for the reality it now faces. And this doesn't just affect individual interactions. It shapes how entire societies respond to change. Before we continue, if you don't want to miss future episodes and want to join the community exploring these ideas, please like and subscribe. When economies shift, technologies evolve, or new pressures emerge, systems need to adjust. But the more interconnected they become, the harder that adjustment is. So responses take longer. Permits take more time, projects are delayed, and policies take longer to implement. Decisions slow down. Opportunities are missed, costs increase, and innovation becomes harder. And over time, the consequences of those delays begin to compound. Economic growth slows, competitiveness declines, and public frustration increases. Eventually, trust in the system begins to erode. And this is important. This isn't about failure. It's about structure, a system designed for stability struggling to adapt to change. So if bureaucracy is the system through which power is exercised, the next question is, how well does that system actually work? Because when systems deliver, people rely on them. When they don't, friction increases, and over time, something deeper is affected: trust. Which raises a bigger question: why do some systems maintain trust while others begin to lose it? That difference is what we call state capacity. So check out the episode on state capacity. Bureaucracy is part of TNBC Explainers Module 2. Power, Governance, and State. Explore the TNBC Explainers course via the YouTube course list, or visit thenextbigcycle.world for the full course overview and background. This is The Next Big Cycle. TNBC Explainers, your guide to understanding the systems shaping the world around you. TNBC Explainers is a growing YouTube course. New concepts are added over time,